All right then, welcome back to 9wax TV. Now, of all the videos I've ever done on this channel, this video is quite likely going to be my most treasured. We've just got back from the 2023 9wax Road Trip Spectacular all the way to Norway. The car is still covered in Norway, in fact. I think 3,500 miles through 7 countries over 8 days. There were 7 cars from the 9wax contingent that went out there. There were 2 of us riding in Little Irish. There was myself and my dad. It's the first time I've ever taken my dad away on a road trip in my little 911, so it was really special for me personally. This then is our video diary of the trip. I hope you enjoy it. Please be kind in the comments. And cheers to the old man for joining us on 8 days through Europe. Let's get stuck in. "996 safely deposited on the car train to France, I fired up the GoPro for our first recorded chat, which started in thrilling fashion."
How much battery life you got on that then?
Hour and a half.
Have you?
Then we'll charge it, yeah. This is my dad.
Hello.
My number 1 fan, probably not.
No.
No. So when I started doing YouTube, I think it's quite nervous to talk to a camera, particularly when you think you've got the whole of the internet watching. So I used to just think I was talking to you.
Really?
Yeah, I did, yeah. And then I was like, I don't really care like what people say or what they think or how I come across. It was my way of showing you what I got up to with my days, basically. So I used to just pretend I was talking to you.
And what did you used to say to that? Lend me such and such.
I'm really chuffed to be doing this road trip with you. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of pack of time and
a bit father and son time.
Yeah. It's going to cost me, but I can't take it with me.
Yeah, exactly that. I'm going to hold you to that as well. No, it'll be good. I think 3,000 miles in 8 days. You're usually up and around, wandering around everywhere. I sit at a desk all day. I'm a pen pusher. You're a lot more active, so I hope you'll be all right sitting down in the car.
Of course so, Lee.
Yeah.
I'm in good company.
Yeah.
What more could I ask
They'll be
for?
here any minute. I think it's worth just pointing out to people like a little bit about you. So you've done many things in your time, but you printed magazines for years.
Yes, yeah.
Which, serendipitous, bear in mind, that's kind of what I have done for the last 10, 11 years, which was by accident. But some of my earliest memories was of you bringing home copies of Land Rover World or
Land Rover World, yeah. Land Rover owners.
Yeah.
Auto car.
Yeah, and I remember sitting there reading them.
Yeah, I was in the Prince Road 42 years.
Really? Yeah. You printed Total 911.
Total 911.
By complete chance.
Yeah, and then you came along. And
so you printed it before I worked there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's worked out well really in my life. You know, I've had a good time in the print, and I'm enjoying life now.
You have been in plenty of Porsches in your time. A lot of them being press cars, to be fair. You know, so I would have a press car from Porsche GB. I live down in Dorset. You live in Essex. You know, in the family home, and I grew up in. And I would often come back, and I'd have a press car. I used to have a lot more then than I do now, and take you out for a drive or whatever. You know, and mum and whatever. So you've you know. I feel like you've sat in and been driven in most 991s.
Yeah, Lee, I have. We've had hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of Porsches on our drive, haven't we?
Neighbours must have been like, what's going on there?
He's on the rob again.
Like what car, like Porsche-wise, has do you remember most fond of, left the biggest mark on you?
It has got to be the orange.
Really? Yeah.
With the registration plate on.
A911.
A911.
Yeah.
And the colour of the car and that was super sitting in it and that. And that is my all-time favourite.
Really? Yeah.
All-time favourite.
We didn't grow up with Porsches. You liked vans, didn't you?
Yeah, I love a van.
And to this day, you still drive your van and that, which I love because it means you can get loads of stuff in it.
You can't get a cement mix and a wheelbarrow in a Porsche, can you?
No, definitely not.
I always loved the Jag. And they made proper Jags in my time.
E-Type?
And no, not E-Types. I don't like E-Types.
Really? Yeah.
No, I don't like E-Types. And there's a simple reason, really. When I used to go to classic car shows, E-types were there, and there was always signs on them, do not touch. You don't touch. You don't need to have a sign in the window to say do not touch. You don't touch. And you couldn't go near it with the owner going, oh, step back. All the guys I've met in the Porsche world, I have never met somebody up their own. They've all been smashing people. Jaguar E-type owners are the total opposite.
There's no need for someone to think they're up there and above everybody else. We're all the same. We all end up in the same place,
yeah,
you know.
Of course.
And
yeah.
what I really like about Porsches, which probably resonates with your story with E-types, is, you know, you could get someone with a £3,000 Porsche, chat someone with a £1 million Porsche, and there's a commonality and a shared enthusiasm.
Of course, so yeah.
You know, and I feel like with Porsche, I feel like there aren't many other hobbies or interests in life that has that such cross section of people.
Yeah,
you know,
you're
whether
probably
you all get
Yeah,
along. There's none of
yeah.
this elitism. You know, we say on Nineworks, particularly on the podcast a lot. Not Porsche is inclusive, not exclusive. You know.
Yeah, and you've all got one love, and that's that Porsche.
Yeah,
no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Nobody looks down their nose on a cheap Porsche to a top of the range GT3.
This is going to be pretty memorable, Dad. So
good. Yeah,
thanks for coming
I'm
along.
looking forward to it. And thanks very much.
Yeah, we haven't got anywhere yet. Let's before I turn the camera off. So obviously, because this is an Nineworks thing, so we're meeting up with members of the Porsche Club Norway. So we're driving off. We've got some stop-offs, which you'll see more in the video as it goes along. But as part of the UK Nineworks crew that's coming along with us, we've got 7 cars in total, 6 Porsches and a Yaris GR, because the owner of the GR, who has a 991 Targa that had an issue, wasn't fixed in time, unfortunately. So we've got a Yaris Interloper. But when you come on these Nineworks road trips, you get a goodie bag. So I'm going to chuck some of this on your lap if that's all right. Here's what we've chucked in for the members. If you want to come along on a Nineworks road trip, by the way, all you need to do is register at nineworks.co.uk. We then send you newsletters, so you hear first every time we do cool stuff like this, and you can get on the list before the general public. So just an FYI. But we've got a cool Porsche Motorsport pull string bag, Garage Therapy glass towel, because alongside that we've got some glass cleaner by Garage Therapy. And I was thinking we can keep all the, we're not going to clean the car through 3,000 miles. There's going to be plenty of bug splat as we come into France. So that's Garage Therapy, and you can get 10% off there by using the code Nineworks10. Staying fresh, Heritage Parts Centre, a walkie-talkie loaned, Nineworks lanyard, Heritage Parts Centre pen as well, and then we've got some of these, and Nineworks driven not hidden stickers. You can buy all of these on the Nineworks website, but again, all thrown in because we are living up to the driven not hidden mantra. So we'll pop all of this back. That's what you get in the bag anyway, and I'm very grateful to the 6 other cars that are joining us for this 2023 road trip spectacular to Norway. But before we get there, we better tackle France and Germany and Denmark first.
We better be.
Let's get on.
Let's get on.
First things first, we met the rest of the Nineworks road trip gang in Calais before hitting up the motorways through France and Belgium, landing in the Netherlands at Porsche Centre Gelderland a few hours later.
You have reached your destination.
If you've not been, Gelderland is a classic Porsche dealership with a host of old and new Stuttgart metal. Even better, owner Mark Vegg also has a large collection of his own and was happy to show us around. Okay, so we're in the body shop part of Porsche Gelderland. This car right here is only one of the 82 901s, so from the first year of 911 production, 1964. 82 were made in 64 calendar year, the rest are 65 calendar year. So these is the Holy Grail. This is chassis number 13. It's the oldest 901 in Europe. It's primed and it's waiting for full body paint. That is spectacular. This place is insane. If you ever get the chance to visit Porsche Centre Gelderland and see Mark's private collection, you really must do. See behind me some of the police cars. 1961 to 1993, there were 507 police cars given to the Dutch police. Every iteration of them, Mark has one. Really refreshing to see stuff that isn't just kind of latest paint sample stuff. This is like the eclectic side that really paints or really shows like a holistic view of Porsche history and the different expressions of 911 that's appeared on our roads all over the planet for the last 60 years. So refreshing to come across a dealership and an owner of a dealership who has genuine passion, not just passion, obsession for the brand in a really positive way. All of the cars in the collection, there's a story behind everyone. That's what makes the car special, of course. But Mark knows the story. That's the point of it. Knows all the intricacies on every car as well. A massive enthusiast who sells a hell of a load of cars through Porsche Gelderland, who takes time out from selling classic and modern Porsche sports cars to show people like us around the premises. So the real pleasure. And if you are ever driving past Porsche Centre Gelderland, it goes without saying, call in, preferably have a little bit of notice, and if you ask nicely, you might just get a tour. Father, day 2.
Day 2?
Yep.
Here we go.
What was your favourite part of yesterday?
The museum of, no, the private collection, which Mark had.
Mark's private collection?
Yeah, Mark's private, yeah. What a collection. It could have been there all day.
Yeah.
All day, it just wasn't long enough.
Yeah, it was absolutely awesome. Yeah, thanks to Mark at Porsche Centre Gelderland, as I said earlier in the video, for showing us around, like taking time out of what is clearly a very busy day.
Yeah, it was.
To show.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
Absolutely spot on. Yeah, so day 2 is to Frederikshavn. Again, probably butchered and or anglicised that, but at the top of Denmark, we're going to get an overnight ferry to Oslo. First, though, we are going to the Prototype Museum in Hamburg to have a look around via the Autobahn. Now, driving a van every day, it's fair to say the Autobahn isn't really my dad's bag. And it's also fair to say he didn't at all enjoy waking up to find us travelling at 130 mile an hour. We stopped at Hamburg, where Dad could change his underpants, while Team 9 Works took a look round the brilliant Prototype Museum, which featured, among other things, what appeared to be the great-grandfather to Little Irish. Right, I hope you can get this in. I hope you can see behind the GT198. So, we've recently done a podcast on the GT198 because it's 25 years now since the GT198 won at Le Mans. It gave Porsche its 16th overall victory at Le Mans in 1998 in what was the company's 50th birthday. It's a very special car, that. We got the designer, Tony Hatter, on the podcast to talk about it. We also interviewed or spoke with Mark Sumter, who owned and has driven a GT1 as well. So it's a really cool podcast, you should check it out. But going off that conversation with some little design trinkets and secrets that Mr. Hatter revealed on the car, it's then great to see one in person and see the physical outcome of some of those anecdotes that he shared. Definitely worth checking out. Very cool, this one being a Zaxby customer car. Very, very cool to see one of them, because there's only 5 of these cars on planet Earth. We left Germany and drove right through Denmark, grabbing an overnight ferry to Norway. We rolled into Oslo, greeted by bright sunshine. We had a 6-hour drive to our final destination in Geiranger, so my dad took to the wheel of Little Irish, while I enjoyed some fresh air motoring with Nigel and his fruity 996 Cabriolet. It was great to share some miles with Nigel. Soon though, our group turned off and headed for the mountains. Back in Little Irish, and within hours we were dealing with a very different landscape. Snow gradually replaced sunshine as the traffic thinned, and before long we were left on our own among some truly amazing scenery. We really did feel like a long way from home now, and this only added to the sense of adventure felt by everybody on the tour. Finally though, we descended from the clouds and reached our waterside residence at the Grand Fjord Hotel in Geiranger. We had made it, and it was awesome to be welcomed by our friends from Porsche Club Norway's Sunnmore region, who we'd be joining for a few fun days. There's Ola. Thomas, how you doing, my man?
Yeah,
how you doing? It's my dad. This is Thomas.
Hello, Thomas.
Hello, nice to meet you.
The hotel view was great, but after a big journey to get here, a good night's sleep was in order. On my behalf at least, this turned out to be wishful thinking. Next morning, the Brits and Norwegians joined forces for a drive on some of the area's best roads, our convoy being around 50 Porsche in total. It was great to stop and admire everyone else's pride and joy while taking in the spectacular views, where I bumped into another old friend. You too might remember this 992 from a year ago. A boat ride through the fjords awaited in the afternoon, but first, some drama. So slight boo-boo, we were driving up one of the mountain roads and I had a GoPro mounted on a window. You'll see on a lot of my videos that I always have like a B-roll camera mounted on the window facing forward. I forgot it was there and I put the window down and buggered it up, for want of a better word. So the whole kind of window frame was knocked out. It meant when the window went down, you're right, Alexander, but then when it went back up, the windscreen was like off kilter and was like overlapping the rear quarter screen. So luckily, this is why you bring your dad on these things. My dad has been able to take the door card apart and fix it. So yes, cheers to Dad. Dads are great. Thanks to Mike and Nigel as well from the collective that have lent their tools and internet wisdom as well to help us get it fixed. It's all content, but I've absolutely not helped whatsoever, so I better at least go over and offer to buy them all a thank you beer. On the last night before heading back, a treat was in store. Trollstigen, one of my favourite roads on planet Earth. I drove it back in 2018 in a Targa GTS press car, and it's been on my bucket list to drive it in Little Irish ever since. Closed for 6 months of the year due to snow, this was only its third open day of 2023, and as it was the evening, we had the place to ourselves. My dad, being put off by the wet conditions and death drop past the road's edge, decided to sit this one out, but did offer to video the escapade from Trollstigen's rather epic viewing platform. Shout out to Natasha from the group for showing him how to hit that red button. I may have been on my own at this point, but driving this road in my plucky old 996 was downright exhilarating. I just couldn't believe how faultless it had been to get us here, belying its 25 years of age and the 996's general reputation for being unreliable. Some machinery here had snow chains, and yet here I was, dancing about on Michelin PS5s, having the time of my life. Offer me all the GT3s in the world, I wouldn't have swapped this drive for any other car. The 996's skinny footprint, lightweight and revvy 3.4 litre flat six giving me everything I wanted for an engaging drive without any nannying technology to prop me up.
Yeah, boy!
For me, this was driving perfection. And once I'd promised my dad I wouldn't kill us on another rundown, he jumped in and we got our celebratory shot in one piece at the bottom. We eventually headed back late into the evening, but the group had certainly got its fix enjoying the twisties of Trollstigen and the run back to the hotel thereafter. The next morning, our 9WEX tour began the long journey home, but there was plenty of fun still to come, beginning on our doorstep. Right, so we have left the Fjord Hotel about 45 minutes ago, driving along, and it's the third time I've been to this area, but the first time we've been able to get to this viewpoint. Which is up, like, pretty much on the summit of all these mountains, really. We've got the cars here, as you can see. Hopefully, if I can tilt enough, yeah. The T's there, Nigel's car, etc., and then back the other way. So we've been able to get up because it's actually a toll, and the toll's open, and it's got this viewpoint that we've been told about many times, and finally we've been able to see it. I'm going to show it to you now. It is utterly breathtaking. From where we are at the top of this viewpoint, to get from here back to the hotel is a 45-minute drive. It takes 14 miles. And from this viewpoint, you can see this spaghetti-like road all the way back and right to the waterside at the Fjord Hotel, and then up Eagles Road, the other side, and on. It is the most spectacular view. I think it's the best view I've ever seen. My dad says the same, and he's got a lot more experience than I have on planet Earth. So yeah, utterly outrageous, and really the most fitting way to sign off our stay in Sunnmore. So yeah, let's show you the viewpoint now and then kick on. We'd had a tip off from the Porsche Club Norway gang as to a great road back to Norway, and it turned out to be extraordinary. I think 66 miles of outrageous road with no turn-offs and only amazing views. With very little traffic to bother us, it was like we'd landed on the moon. This was a superb way to leave Norway. despite the curveball of our return ferry being moved to depart a further 4 hours south from Oslo, giving us what was a 10-hour driving day. We all loved every minute, but couldn't wait for bed and a chance to recharge. A ferry to and drive through Denmark took us back to Germany on our penultimate planned stop-off. Hello, so it's the last day and we've got 2 more cool stop-offs actually before we reach the UK again. First one is here at Heritage Parts Centre. Their main HQ is in Shoreham in the UK. Brexit has necessitated a new warehouse to be open here in Germany to serve European customers. So that's for Porsche parts from 356 to 997 and everything in between. So if you're a European-based friend of Nineworks and you wish to purchase something from Heritage Parts, if you're on the continent, it's very likely going to come from here. Let's have a quick look around and see what it's all about. The guys treated our tour with proper English tea before showing us how they serve Porsche and VW customers on the continent with rapid delivery of over 25,000 parts. Get your orders in at heritagepartscentre.com. Anyway, we headed back out onto the road once more, where this happened. Before we reached our last stop of the tour. So, a stop off on the way home, we're in Belgium to see Johan Frank Dirks from the JFD Collection. What a guy. There's a really good interview with Johan on my channel. I'll pop a link to it here so you can see, but fabulous. Drop Johan a message, mention the fact we were passing by later today. Are you in? And Johan, one of the kindest gentlemen in the industry as far as I'm concerned, having known him for a number of years now, said, yep, look, swing on by, and has very kindly shown everybody around this amazing place. You'll see Johan at many events all over the globe in previous years and going forward. Goodwood Festival of Speed, Rennsport Reunion, you name it, he does it and he goes there. Le Mans Classic, real top guy. So Johan, thank you very much for showing us around, good sir. As daylight faded, our group headed for home, rolling through the Netherlands and then France, then boarding the train back to the UK. This was the most epic trip, which will live long in the memory for me. I couldn't have asked for a better group of people to have shared the fun with, and count myself lucky to have been able to do all of this with my dad in my little 911. Peak father and son time, and some memories I shall treasure forever.